I went red, white, blue. All right, so let me see. Light it up for number 1. Number 1. Let me see. So you do have to tell the people at your table what your answers are so that you can get this. Oh, it doesn't work? Oh, dang it. Yeah, and if your light doesn't work, that could be a problem. Here, get the other white one off of there. Okay. What color we got? White? 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 Eventually. And was there also a red, or are you just playing with it? Don't confuse me. Okay. All right, so we all think B? Okay. Well, I will tell you, I remember, just because it was the first one, I think, not everybody actually had B on Friday, so maybe we discussed it, which is fine. But here's what I want, if you did initially get it incorrect, or you had to think about it too much, let's talk about how we would do a question like this in general if you set up a proportion. If you can set up a proportion, do that. So it says that we have 2.2 pounds, so pounds for every 1 kilogram. How many pounds are there in X kilograms? So like the how many is sometimes where I'd put X, but it says in X kilograms, so I have X kilograms, and I want to know this is, I don't know, we can call that Y pounds or whatever you want to do there. But I'm trying to figure out X, I'm going to multiply 2.2 times X, and that would be equal to Y. So Y pounds is equal to 2.2 times X, and it's just a cross multiply thing. So if you can set up a proportion, you won't hopefully ever like multiply when you're supposed to divide or vice versa, because that's usually where the confusion comes in. Okay, how we feel? We're good? Any questions? All right, let me see your lights for number 2. Okay, we all got A. Or we all got A now after we talked about it maybe? All right. Customers at the store. These bar graphs. All right. Bar graph above shows the number of customers who shopped at a store Monday through Thursday. So, all right, that makes sense. 1 week, if the number of customers on Friday was 1/5 increase from the number of customers on Thursday, how many customers shopped at the store on Friday? So it was a 1/5 of an increase from Thursday. Thursday's at 4. Is it just 4, or is it 4 what? 400. So 400, right? And it's an increase from there. So the first thing we want to do is check all our answers. They're all increases, because maybe we can eliminate something. So how do I figure out a 1/5 increase? What do I have to figure out about 400? What is 1/5 of something? Of means multiply. I can multiply it by 1/5, which is the same as dividing by 5, right? 400 divided by 5 is 80, right? And then I add it back to the 400, so it's A. Okay, we good with that? Remember that of means multiply in math. That's something that sometimes we lose sight of. 1/5 of 400, I'm multiplying, which means I'm dividing by 5. Any questions at all? We all good on that? All right, show me 3. No judgments, no judgments. Unless you're perfect, and I know you're not, so there you go. Okay, so we got 3 colors there, a blue and a blue, that's all we got? All right. All right, last year a bakery sold W loaves of bread. This year the bakery sold 3 more than twice the number of loaves of bread sold last year. That kind of stuff make your brain hurt sometimes. Okay, but remember, you were just translating from English to math. And since it's not subtraction, it's kind of harder to mess up the initial thing. So we sold 3 more than twice the number of loaves of bread. So last year there was W. So I need 3 more, which means I'm adding 3 to twice the number. So that is what we did this year, okay? Then it says if next year, so we could choose B if we don't continue reading, and that's bad. So if next year the bakery plans on selling twice the number of loaves of bread sold this year, okay. So this is equal to this year, not that that's really high, W was last year, and then we need next year, right? And it says, next year, the bakery plans on selling twice the number of loaves of bread sold this year. So 2 times that. 2 times what they sold this year, which is not this one. When I distribute that, I get D. Write it out. Nobody is checking your work on a multiple choice test. Well, I'm going to, but like when you take the SAT or whatever, or maybe your professor is, I don't know. But write it out and don't just keep it in your head. That's where bad things happen, okay? Try and keep up with your little chart as you go, like put in the A's, how do you feel after? Like, and it might be like, okay, it makes sense now, but I'm afraid I might still mess it up. Then maybe it's not a big old smiley face, I don't know. I mean, it's up to you, however you. I guess like a smiley face would be like, I got it now, I shouldn't have missed it, or that type of thing. Whatever, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to adapt that as we go, because I don't know if I love how it's going to work, but we'll see. All right, so number 4, let me see your lights. Okay. All right, gotcha. All right, what is the value of P? Now, I know some of these words, like what basic, some of them, what it says doesn't even make any sense. But is this pretty basic? You're just solving an equation. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. We get 7P equals 12. Then we divide, and we get 12 divided by 7. And we should be able to do that kind of stuff in our sleep, right? Everybody okay with that? Okay. All right, let me see number 5. Okay. All right. So running an average of 6 miles per hour, how many minutes would it take Kyle to run 3 miles? Now, this is a pretty basic type of question like this, but if they had asked me like in 1.5 hours, or they did other weird things, let's just make sure we know how to set something like this up. If I had 6 miles an hour means we go 6 miles for every 1 hour. Okay? And we're looking for minutes, so I can change, and not that I have to get this crazy with this one, but if I needed to do some, conversions here, I know that there's 1 hour has 60 minutes in it, right? 60 minutes. So the hours cancel out, and so now that gives me 6 miles for 60 minutes. So pay attention to what I did here, how this matches up, so you know if you're dividing or multiplying. It's called dimensional analysis, and that you do that anytime you're converting. That way you're canceling that stuff out, and then when you multiply, I have miles per minute now, okay? But I only want to run 3 miles, so that's half of that, and half of 60 is 30. Okay? You didn't necessarily have to get that formal for that question, because it was fairly simple, but remember, not everything turns out being that, that simple that way. All right, let me see number 6. Okay. All right, so the dot plot. Do we even know how to read a dot plot? These are kind of weird. But that means that we have this data, and the data fits the answer to the data. It's either 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So that means I have 4 zeros. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones, and so forth and so on. So the dot plot above identifies the number of pets living with each of 20 families. So that means that one pet, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 families have 1 pet. That's what this means, in case you're wondering what the heck these weird type of statistics looking things mean. What fraction of the families have more than 2 pets? Okay, so how many families are there? 20, or I can count all the dots, but there's 20. And I need the fraction that have more than 2 pets. So more than 2 pets is here, and that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 over 20, and that reduces to 1/5. Okay. So if you didn't get this one, the issue might have been, what the heck is that dot plot thing? Because I think that's sometimes the issue. What questions do we have? Anything? Are we all good? All right. And remember, you're keeping these green papers, so you might want to leave your wrong, it's okay if you didn't, but like you might want to leave your wrong answer and then put the right answer and make yourself a note about something, whatever works for you, so you could go back and look at these if you want to. All right, number 7. I have a feeling this will be all over the place, but let me see what we got here. Remember, you can have more than one light on. Y'all don't have to agree. Y'all got nothing. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, we're good. So the formula for the volume. So they give it to you. Formula for the volume. There's the formula. R equals 2B, H equals this. What is the volume of the cylinder in terms of B? Which means we have to substitute stuff in and then not make up math. That's the most important part. Don't make up math. So I get V equals pi. Now, R is 2B. 2B squared times the height, which is 5B plus 3. Step 1, you substitute it in and you do 0 work. I cannot stress that enough. No matter how easy it is, we make mistakes when we're substituting and calculating things, okay? Plus, sometimes, depending on who your teacher is and what the class is, you might get credit for that, even if you don't get full credit. I mean, this is multiple choice, so you wouldn't, but still. All right, so then I have to know what to do with this. This pi, he's just going to hang out. When I square this, what do I get? 2 squared is 4. B squared is B squared, right? Then I still have 5B plus 3. The other day when we did that simple little lesson on the numbers and stuff, then we talked about some properties. Remember, one of those properties was the distributive property. And so I have to take this, and then I have to distribute it here, and I have to distribute it here. So when I multiply this times this, the 4 times the 5 is what? 20. And then the pi is just in there, and then B squared times B is B cubed. Then when I just multiply this times this, I get 3 times 4 is 12 pi B squared. The answer is C. Okay, everybody okay with that? Ask me questions. If something, because this one, when I typed it in anyway, it was kind of all over the place. Maybe something we need to practice on is multiplying with variables and stuff like that when it's not all just numbers. Oh, what did I do? Oh, shoot. It's B. What, shoot? It's not pi squared, it's B. I'm so sorry. It's B. I have B on my answer key, just so you know. When I first did it, I did B. I wasn't paying attention to the answer. Yeah, we're not squaring pi. I'm so sorry. It is B. Duh, because that's what it matches. Thank you. Wanted to see if y'all are paying attention. That's never true. I just mess up. But, okay, we good? Any questions? All right, beautiful. All right, let's see what we think about Richard and his pizza. Let me see what you got. You want to go with that one? Okay. Okay. All right, so here, and this is something, the SAT loves systems of equations. This is a system of equations, okay? Is there a way you could do it differently? Probably, but systems of equations is going to be the easiest. So he's got 3 slices of cheese pizza and 2 sodas. So I'm going to use P for pizza and S for sodas, okay, instead of X and Y. So I got 3 pieces of pizza plus 2 sodas, and that's equal to $8.75. And then I have 2 slices of pizza and 4 sodas for $8.50. And sorry that my S is going to look like 5s. Okay, is that something we can set up? Because we got to be able to set that kind of stuff up. Again, SAT loves systems of equations in some form or another. So then I need to solve this system. There's multiple ways to do it, but graphing is not an option here because you wouldn't have a graphing calculator for this. But we could do substitution or elimination. Those of you that solved it and could get that far, which way did you do it? Substitution or elimination? Or was it guess and check? Was it guess and check? Okay, be honest with me. Okay. So do we know the difference between substitution and elimination? Yes, no? You have no idea what I'm talking about. What would you do? Okay, which means you solved for something? Okay, okay, good. All right, so let's talk about elimination. If I do elimination, that's when we get to add them together, right? But I'd need to multiply through. So I would probably choose, which one did you multiply? The top one? Yeah, by -2, good. If we multiply this whole thing by -2, and then put it under this one, so this would give me -6p minus 4s equals -1750, is that right? Okay, thank you. And then I'm going to combine those. So this gives me a -4p. Those zero out. And then this is -9, right? Yes. And then you divide by -4. P is equal to 9 divided by 4, which is what? That's 450, 225. So the pizza is equal to 225. Then we would have to go back and find the soda price, which we will do tomorrow. But some of you got the answer right, but it was by guess and check. You were just plugging stuff in. Is that what was happening? Be honest. Okay. All right. Because we do need to know how to do systems. So what that tells me is we need to practice systems. Like, this is what I'm trying to figure out, okay? And especially before the SAT, because the new SAT, they love systems. They did love triangles and circles, and they still kind of do. But now this next one, whew, they love systems. So we're going to spend some time on systems for sure. All right? And we'll finish this one tomorrow.